Huge prize money, huge jumping, and top performances across the board. We saw worthy winners in the new California World Cup, as well as my new favorite horse taking the Super Cup Grand Prix, and a stellar Global Champions League performance in the final, taking home millions in prize money. Horse Bytes is presented by Flair Equine Nasal Strips. Prevent, protect, perform. Welcome to Horse Bytes, your 5 and 10, 5-star show jumping, all in just 10 minutes. The sheer amount of prize money that changed hands this weekend was extraordinary, and that includes the $400,000 Grand Prix in Santa Anita that was the smallest pot. The Global Champions Tour and League saw the playoffs conclude in spectacular fashion in Riyadh, with over 11 million euros given away. The out-of-this-world 9-year-old mare Foxy de la Roque and Victor Bettendorf of Luxembourg won the Super Grand Prix, taking home 300,000 euros, beating out Gilles Thomas and everyone's favorite Hermitage Cologne and Michael Duffy and Queerex. The GCL saw the teams battle it out across 3 days, with the Stockholm Hearts eventually securing the win for $2.5 million in prize money to be split amongst the team. And last but not least, Carl Cook and his Olympic silver medal partner, Caracol de la Roque, headed to the races at the newly minted World Cup qualifier at the Santa Anita racetrack, blazing around the course to take the win in front of his home crowd. Horse Bytes is presented by Flair Equine Nasal Strips.
Okay, I have put the nasal strip on my nose. Immediately, I can feel the nostrils flare. Let's see if it helps with the breathing. All right, you've seen the flare strips in action. You even saw them on me, which I can tell you, I absolutely felt the difference of the flared nostrils. You're gonna get your flare strip packet. It's gonna come like this. It's gonna come with a little positioning guide, but let's see how we actually put it on the horse correctly.
I mean, if I can feel the difference, then for sure the horses can too. Flair Equine Nasal Strips. Breathe easier.
Arguably the most prestigious class of the weekend was the LGCT Super Grand Prix. It had the most prize money, it was by qualification only, it was spec'd at meter 65, but it's always so hard to measure a class when only 14 horse rider combinations jump. It certainly wasn't the strongest field, since we saw a number of young, inexperienced horses and riders, but we also saw a few top combinations. Peter de Vos, Jana Friedrich Meyer-Zimmermann, Edu Asnar, Max Kuhner all brought out their big guns with their top horses, while Christian Kuku opted not to take his Olympic partner Checker and save him for the league competition the following day. The first round was challenging but jumpable, with only 4 going clear. First out of the gate was Jana and Messi Van Ridershof, who were the trailblazers and started the class out with a clear.
Maya with Messi, can she get a clear? She does!
Then Michael Duffy almost got the clear but was too slow and ended with a few time falls.
Time penalties! There's time penalties! There's 2!
Eventually, Gilles Thomas rode a beautiful equitation round on Hermitage to post the second clear. We saw a lot of four-fault rounds smattered between the clears, but the most notable trip was Christian Kuku and Just Be Gentle. Now, he was certainly a favorite going in, Olympic champion, other top horse of his, but something totally unexpected happened down the 3-stride, and he almost fell off. Take a look at this feat.
The crossbow of Kukuk. Oh! Focuses, jumps it, and then ducks out, really ducks out.
Another wild moment happened 2 rounds later with Nicola Philipparts and Katanga with a miscommunication. It was normally a steady 8, and Nicola tried to fit it in, but perhaps was a little late getting it done, and the mare tried to leave a stride early. My favorite moment of the entire class, however, was to see the professionalism and sportsmanship from Abdel Said after his round. Bonami lost a shoe during the round, and Abdel's team was panicking a bit. Have a listen to his response.
They were both there. They have to find them now. Okay.
Okay, it's okay. Calm down. Let's just find the shoes. Everything fine.
Now that's what you'd expect from a top athlete. Well played, Mr. Said. Well played. Round 2 saw a great comeback from Nicola Philipparts, who jumped clear and would make up one of the 7 clears in the second round.
Philipparts, and there's the finish. It is 7.
The slickest rides came from Lorenzo De Luca and Max Kuhner, who who was actually sitting on the highest rated horse of the class with Electric Blue. They each finished on 4, but with quick times it helped them both move up in the placings. 4 of the 14 starters had the first jump down in the second round.
Oh, first fence falls.
It was the plain blue vertical, no one made major mistakes, just a bit casual. And that's a pretty high percentage for such a small bunch. In the end, it was the clears from Michael Duffy on a horse that's barely jumped meter 60 in over 5 years, Gilles Thomas, and eventually Victor Bettendorf, who won it on the final round of the night, rounding out the podium.
Victor Bettendorf to start us all once again. It's another.
Michael took the slow and safe route, going around the triple back to the Liverpool, while Gilles was efficient but not lightning fast, and Victor, who piloted my new favorite horse, Foxy de la Roque, to an incredible win. The mare is 9 years old, has no shoes, doesn't wear any protective boots, never jumped meter 60 before this year, and has now jumped 5 meter 60 Grand Prix and won 4 of them. What an insanely impressive stat. And what a joy to watch such a talented jumper. The following night saw the GCL Super Cup. It was the team final with $2.5 million on the line for the winning team. The Can Stars, powered by Iron Dames, who came in as favorites after winning the season overall title, had a rough night with lots of faults from the all-female team. It took 8 rounds to see the first clear, with young Thibaut Spitz putting in an excellent round for the Prague Lions, although his teammates couldn't match that score. Stockholm was in next, and they posted the only faultless team score of the first round, with Nicola Philipparts redeeming himself from the Super Grand Prix. Malin Bayard Janssen and H&M Indiana posting a double clear, as well as Julien Epayard and Donatello Doge. Riesenbeck and Shanghai finished round 1 strong, with McMahon, Kukuk, Ben Mayer, and Deusser all posting clears. Round 2 saw teams come back in reverse order, and although it was a bit of a sleepy class in the middle, it certainly picked up near the end. The top 3 teams were Shanghai, Riesenbeck, and Stockholm. Shanghai's Ben Mayer and Point Break and Daniel Deusser with Killer Queen put in double clears, making them the first and second horses ever to achieve 4 clears across all playoff rounds in the history of the league. Their third rider, Max Kuhner, again rode his Super GP horse Electric Blue, who had 8 faults in the first round and 4 in the second round. Horse looked a bit tired, to be honest, and actually produced his only 8-fault round all season. Riesenbeck was next in and had to keep the faults under 12 to stay ahead of Shanghai, but with an unforced error from Kobe and Philip Weishaupt, who tripped on takeoff at B of the double and crashed through it, plus had the wall after, and then a single fault from Kukuk, their hopes were squashed as they slotted in behind Shanghai. Stockholm was last to compete, and with 3 rails in hand, it seemed like an easy feat, but only 1 down from each team member would have been disastrous. Luckily, they held it together. Nicola had 1 down, but Malin and Julien both jumped double clear to secure the victory with 2 jumps in hand. Meanwhile, across the pond and all the way out west, Carl Cook and the one and only Curtesy de la Roque sailed to their 3rd 5-star victory, taking the inaugural World Cup of Santa Anita, California. Hosted by Split Rock Jumping Tour at what will be the 2028 LA Olympic venue for equestrian jumping, the World Cup class was a nice display. It was a simpler class with a solid lineup of horses and riders, but like we typically see in the US, the field was mixed with some top combinations and then a bunch of young unknowns getting good experience. The triple was tough and saw 18 of the 29 starters have 1 or more parts of it down, but eventually 8 jumped clear. There were no eliminations, and only 2 retired, so the course builder did a good job balancing the mixed starting order. It looked like a nice atmosphere, but to be honest, it wasn't the most exciting class, including a rather boring jump-off. Cian O'Connor and his new mount Ironman jumped some beautiful rounds, but like usual, Cian is rock solid, albeit a bit of a slowpoke. I have seen him jump a lot of clears this year, but he hasn't actually won much. He eventually finished in 3rd. Daniel Blumen gave it a real go with one of the best 9-year-old horses in the world, Corby VV. I wouldn't be surprised if that horse becomes truly famous in our world. What an athlete. Have a listen to Daniel's thoughts about the upcoming superstar.
Yeah, I'm incredibly proud of Corby. You know, her results have been outstanding. This is, I think, her 5th or 6th 5-star Grand Prix, and she hasn't touched a rail in the first round of 5-star Grand Prix yet.
But they were no match for the last pair out, Carl Cook and Curtesy. Speeding around, taking a huge shot to the penultimate, and eventually shaving almost a second off Blumen's time. Carl and Kara tipped their hat for a home win at Santa Anita. Overall, it was a nice week of 5-star show jumping. We saw a lot of action, some unexpected moments from some top pairs, time wasn't a factor across any of the major classes, and a whole ton of money changed hands. I would definitely say the atmosphere in Riyadh didn't quite look like it is in Prague, making the whole thing feel a little bit less special, but with so much prize money, I don't think anyone really cared. And the US looked like a really nice event, albeit a pretty normal class. In the end, I'd give the Super GP a 6.6, the GCL a 6.7, and Santa Anita a 6.1. Solid scores, but nothing to knock your socks off. That is, unless you're the Stockholm Hearts this week and you're buying everyone new socks. Well, that's a wrap on this week's top highlights, and stay tuned next week for more World Cup jumping at the Madrid Horse Week. But before you go, check out the wildest moment from the week when Daniel Deusser's mare, Killer Queen, twists and turns over B of the double to get out unscathed.
Steady 6, beautifully ridden. Oh, and almost caught the wing.
Deusser lifts her up and over, and she does her very best to clear the wing and leave the jump up. What a move! Stay tuned to all of our socials. Make sure to subscribe and follow along all the action as it unfolds here on Horse Bytes, your 5 and 10 5-star show jumping, all in just 10 minutes.